Genesis 40. Genesis 40 verse 1. Now after these things the chief servant who had the care of the wine, and the chief bread maker in Pharaoh's house, did something against Pharaoh's orders. Genesis 40 verse 2. And Pharaoh was angry with his two servants, with the chief wine servant and the chief bread maker. Genesis 40 verse 3. And he put them in prison under the care of the captain of the army, in the same prison where Joseph himself was shut up. Genesis 40 verse 4. And the captain put them in Joseph's care, and he did what was needed for them, and they were kept in prison for some time. Genesis 40 verse 5. And these two had a dream on the same night, the chief wine servant and the chief bread maker of the king of Egypt, who were in prison. The two of them had dreams with a special sense. Genesis 40 verse 6. And in the morning when Joseph came to them, he saw that they were looking sad. Genesis 40 verse 7. And he said to the servants of Pharaoh who were in prison with him, "Why are you looking so sad?" Genesis 40 verse 8. Then they said to him, "We have had a dream, and no one is able to give us the sense." And Joseph said, "Does not the sense of dreams come from God? What was your dream?" Genesis 40 verse 9. Then the chief wine servant gave Joseph an account of his dream, and said, "In my dream I saw a vine before me." Genesis 40 verse 10. And on the vine were 3 branches, and it seemed as if it put out buds and flowers, and from them came grapes ready for cutting. Genesis 40 verse 11. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and crushing them into Pharaoh's cup, gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Genesis 40 verse 12. Then Joseph said, "This is the sense of your dream. The 3 branches are 3 days. Genesis 40 verse 13. After 3 days Pharaoh will give you honor, and put you back into your place, and you will give him his cup as you did before, when you were his wine servant. Genesis 40 verse 14. But keep me in mind when things go well for you, and be good to me, and say a good word for me to Pharaoh, and get me out of this prison. Genesis 40 verse 15. For truly I was taken by force from the land of the Hebrews, and I have done nothing for which I might be put in prison. Genesis 40 verse 16. Now when the chief bread maker saw that the first dream had a good sense, he said to Joseph, "I had a dream, and in my dream there were 3 baskets of white bread on my head." Genesis 40 verse 17. And in the top basket were all sorts of cooked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds were taking them out of the baskets on my head. Genesis 40 verse 18. Then Joseph said, "This is the sense of your dream. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Genesis 40 verse 19. After 3 days Pharaoh will take you out of prison, hanging you on a tree, so that your flesh will be food for birds. Genesis 40 verse 20. Now the 3rd day was Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his servants, and he gave honor to the chief wine servant and the chief bread maker among the others. Genesis 40 verse 21. And he put the chief wine servant back in his old place, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Genesis 40 verse 22. But the chief bread maker was put to death by hanging, as Joseph had said. Genesis 40 verse 23. But the wine servant did not keep Joseph in mind or give a thought to him.